Good morning, guys. We are back in the Netherlands. I just had the second night here in my own bed. Wow, that sleeps a lot better, so I feel a lot more rested. The jet lag is pretty much gone. I only noticed it yesterday at like 8 p.m. that I started to get very tired again. I just went straight back into training, and that always resets me and forces a jet lag out of me. And just woke up at 112.4 kilos. So that's only, about 2 kilos above stage weight, which is great. The first week you want to be about, 2 to 4% above stage weight, just to get the fatigue out as quickly as possible. And it'll happen automatically anyway, because, we enjoyed the Cheesecake Factory, we enjoyed Hell's Kitchen, we enjoyed a lot of other restaurants in Las Vegas, but now it's time to get back to the structure of a diet in the Netherlands. Kind of a reverse diet, but not very low in calories. And why? Because we're also gonna have some Christmas feasts and dinners. So, the more you can adhere to a good diet now, your steps and your training, the less of an impact those feasts will have. Now, I'm a professional bodybuilder, so this is why I do this. I am strict now, so I can enjoy those feasts later without any guilt. That's also the advice I give to a lot of other people, my clients. When you feel guilty eating whatever you want during Christmas dinners, for example, you can eliminate that guilt by being strict on your diet the rest of the time. Because in my opinion, because you are adhering to a diet, you can every now and then enjoy those holidays without any feeling of guilt, guys. That is very important. Otherwise, life is not worth living. So I just had my morning shake, some glutamine, 20 grams, very good for your gut health, especially after a prep. You need this again to get the higher amount of food in. Also some Meta Plus. Now I used to take 12 grams. Now I'm limiting it to 6 grams. A great way to wake up. In this shaker container about 800 mils. And in the meantime, I'm making breakfast for Marley and Dexter. And hey, look at that. This is like a high protein yogurt. It's called Quark in the Netherlands. So we're going to be adding some American granola, bare naked, some fruits and some other ingredients. Let me show you what this looks like. Kaboom! And this is the end result. This is Marley's breakfast. This is Dexter's breakfast. So we have some granola, and people keep asking about this. These are yogurt raisins, guys. Yogurt raisins, aka white chocolate covered raisins. We have some pecan nuts, almonds, cashews, dark chocolate. Same for Dexter. The only difference here is Marley gets an extra Hershey's bonbon or truffle from America. She loves those. She's also breastfeeding, so she needs the extra calories. And Laura doesn't mind some chocolate milk. And now for my own breakfast, let's check out what that looks like. So here's cream of rice, dry powder combined. And this is actually cream of rice with salt and with cinnamon, hence the darker color. But what is that trail, you may ask about? Well, that is actually, let me show you, Flavor Drops Intense Butter Biscuit. Got a lot of those. As you can see, those are all flavor drops, all different flavors, which is I love combining that with cream of rice just to see what comes out. My new technique is that I first, I always do this, but I first mix up all the dry ingredients, add the flavor drops, then I'm gonna give Dexter the breakfast, and once we are ready to go outside, I put boiling water in here, so it'll be nicely, not cold, but a little cool down once I'm back. And the chocolate on top, which I'll be adding 15 grams of Callebaut chocolate, well, they'll be molten and it'll be delicious. So right now I like it a bit warmer compared to cold that I used to before. And this is the protein source. This is whey paste, and I got a new flavor right here by ESN Designer Whey Protein. cinnamon cereal. Trust me guys, Urs wasn't kidding when he said this is the GOAT flavor. It tastes absolutely amazing. But you can see there, plus cereal pieces. I was like, is this really mixing up correctly? I'm seeing pieces here, but it's actually crunchy cereal pieces. Unbelievable. So this, I'll be putting on top of this, while in the middle I put some frozen fruit, so this can actually sit on top. And that is gonna be my incredible breakfast. So this is what my breakfast looks like. Cream of rice with some Calabaut chocolate. And instead of strawberries, you put blueberries on top of here because they are slightly higher in carbs and less voluminous compared to strawberries. And honestly, I don't need incredibly high voluminous meals right now. They are just fine with the increased carbs. So blueberries are very, very healthy. And on top we're gonna put these this whey paste. So let's see what that looks like. Cream of rice with a delicious topping of ESN Designer Whey cinnamon cereal, frosting, paste, sludge, whatever you want to call it. Let's enjoy. Alrighty guys, we finished the breakfast. And now it is time for the pre-workout shake. It's been about an hour since the breakfast, and we are going to take a combination of uni-lateral and uni-nootropic. So I'm going to put in a scoop of each, 20 grams of this, 10 grams of this. The Nitro X has been sold out for... Jesus Christ. Take 2. So in this chaotic family, I have to try and record this. Jesus Christ. Anyway, 20 grams of this. And we have 10 grams of this. Welcome to the Vissers family, guys. You now see the reality of what I'm living in. The reality. 1 caffeine capsule that I got 8th is still a miracle to me. Do you understand it? I don't. 200 milligrams. A little bit of salt. This is matcha salt, by the way, with a bit of caffeine in there as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're gonna mix this up with as much water as possible. And we're also taking some ubiquinol, very good for the heart, especially after a competition. So that's about 200 milligrams. And now, let's enjoy the shake. Alright guys, so in the comments on the last few videos, you asked me what I thought about the Olympia, kind of a recap of what my goals are for next year basically. And I'm very excited about next year. When I look at my shape now, I've seen most of the pictures now from different angles, different photographers, and of course by Niels Pics Visuals himself. And I'm very happy about the shape. The entire front of my body I'm very satisfied with. Especially comparing myself to the other 7 guys who placed ahead of me. Even my legs, they're simply quite on par with the rest. Sure, could use a little bit more quad sweep. And that is my main goal that I want to, also improve upon for next year. At least from the front. But as far as the conditioning goes, I was very, very happy combined with the fullness. This truly was the first time I've been able to achieve conditioning that was, top 8 worthy, and also the fullness to finally stand out among all of those 60 classic physique athletes. So, but when I turn around, I've seen the first call out of the top 8 guys, with me being on the side, of course, and Chris Bumstead in the middle. But at the back double biceps, my back actually stood out, which was again surprising, just like the Arnold Classic and the Yamamoto France that I won to qualify for the Olympia. My back shots, especially the upper portion, of course, of the back shot, the back itself, looks really good. So I got to be objective about that, even though it's weird to talk about yourself like that. The back can compare with Chris Bumstead's back himself, so I'm very happy about that. But then it comes to the glutes and the hamstrings and the leg mass overall from the back. Most of all the glutes need to increase in size, and I happen to actually have trained glutes yesterday specifically, so it already has begun working on the glutes really hard, doing specific glute movements like the hip thrust. We got a booty builder downstairs, which we bought last year at the FIBO, which I'm going to be intensively using. Also specialized leg press, especially for the glutes, uni-lateral press.
also going to be Bulgarian split squats, lunges, etc. So a specific day for the hamstrings and the glutes. And the overall leg mass simply needs to improve. So that's really what my physique needs, a bit more mass there. And for you guys who don't know, I weighed 244 pounds with the very pants I'm wearing right now and an oversized t-shirt. So what that means is that I have at least like 5 pounds to go before I hit my weight limit. And I can be a bit more conditioned even, because I gotta be honest, when you're looking at Chris Bumstead, I thought he reached his peak last year, but he didn't. He was even better this year, so you can't expect that if you improve just a little bit that Chris stays the same. He's improving, and he's saying that he can improve even more, but I can as well, and this year will be amazing. So my goal for next year will be to build that mass, the glutes, hamstrings, quad sweep, and of course the upper body can use a bit more mass as well, because what I envision as a perfect classic physique is a dominant Arnold upper body, but this time in this era you also need that X-frame physique, so bigger legs with all the things I mentioned and a better conditioning. So that's the goal for next year. And then a competition needs to be chosen. People have asked me, are you going to do the Arnold Classic in March? No, I will not. It would not be smart. Remember, the Olympia is in November, so this gives us 1.5 months less time to prepare for this Olympia compared to last year. So we only have a season of 10.5 months, basically, until the Olympia is here again in Orlando, one of my favorite American places to be. And what I'm going to do is choose a show that is very close to the Olympia, one of the last qualifying shows. I don't want it to be a small show, but I do want to have as much time as possible to build that mass I was talking about before doing that show, because what I did this year is in between the show that I won and the Olympia, there were like 8+ weeks, and in those weeks I was able to maintain my shape and become even better. So I don't really care if it's like 1 or 2 months in between the show I will qualify for the Olympia for and the Olympia itself, because I only get better. But I do want to use this biggest stretch of time possible this year to improve upon my shape. So that's really the recap of the Olympia and my goals for next year. The exact show I still have to look at, because the IFBB Pro League show calendar still needs to be updated with all of the shows, but once they are there, I'll choose a show and I'll inform you guys which show that is going to be later on for sure when I know myself. But my coach Stefan has also said to me, okay, first just enjoy the holidays, let's recover, do a blood test just to see how everything is going. I already ordered a blood test. In my opinion, you should do one when you're at your worst, so right after the show. So in a few days I should be able to do it, see what the values are, and I'll of course be sharing them with you and how I'm going to improve upon perhaps some values that are out of whack a little bit, which is quite normal after a show. But anyway guys, it is time to work out the back and create the Intra workout shake. We are in a recovery phase after the Olympia. What is very important is keeping high quality nutrition before, during and after the workout. So obviously we're going to back to Vayu Intra, 60 grams of this, which provides 30 grams of carbohydrates, a little bit of creatine, a little bit of minerals, EAAs, all the good stuff to fuel our muscles in the workout itself. I feel quite good actually. I had a bit jet lag, of course, the first day because we arrived at 11:30 in the morning and I can't sleep on the plane at night. But I forced the jet lag out of me by training on that day and had a nap beforehand, and then I could just go to sleep as normal. And when I woke up like nothing happened, which is great. We are going to add something new, ESN collagen peptides. So these are perfect to take either pre-workout or intra-workout. And why is that? If you have tendons or joints that are hurting, you want those to be fixed with raw materials. And collagen is one of those raw materials that the body can use to fix those issues. But the problem is that joints and tendons aren't really fueled or filled with blood very often, only during the workout. So if you want to push these raw materials into the areas like the joint and the tendons, you need to have a good pump. And the only way to do that is to work out. So you want to combine this with a workout to make it work out as best as possible. And then most people might think, why are you still using L-carnitine? Aren't you now off season, not in contest prep? That's true. I'm not using it for burning fat. I'm using it for androgenic sensitivity, which means the testosterone you do have will actually, within the receptor site, keep the receptors more sensitive to it, which then has a greater muscle building effect. Yes, it is a very small effect, but since we can now say I'm number 8 in the world, every small effect should be used to get a few placings up. And of course, a little bit of salt, and also a little bit of extra creatine. This actually comes straight from my suitcase. I usually don't like to take the big package with me. I just took this with me to save space and weight, because yes, I took three suitcases with me, and I came back with 3 suitcases which weighed more than the ones I took with me. So yeah, you know, I took some stuff with me from America. A lot of presents for Christmas, food, clothing, shoes. We took a lot of stuff with us because, you know, I simply love America. So we're going to bring a bit of America to the Netherlands to extend the enjoyment of our time in Las Vegas. Okay, I think that's all the ingredients for now. Let's just add some water, and I'm going to add a lot of water, guys. If you've done a contest, the few days before you cut water, which helps for me a lot. But after that, you can't say, okay, I cut water for 2 days, so 2 days of drinking water, it'll replenish. No, the body is way more complicated than that. You need to drink a lot of water for at least a week straight afterwards to be able to stabilize the water content in your body. So I'm going to fill this up all the way and drinking all of it during the back workout. But let's go downstairs to train the back. The chest supported pull down, one of my favorites, and this off season we would become incredibly strong in this movement. So finally, no more maintaining strength, but actually increasing strength. However, what is very important now is we are in a recovery phase, as I mentioned. So right now, we're not going all out in weight and intensity and failure. We just want to still maintain what we have as we are recovering. And slowly, I will notice I can handle more volume and I recover better. And that's when we can actually push up more weight. But for now, let's see where we're at. So with this movement, what you truly want to focus on is pull with the elbows towards the hips. Because if you do this, you will feel the upper back, but this is a lat movement, a pull down movement. So when you put the elbows down, pull towards the hips, you can actually feel the contraction in the lats. And that is the goal of this movement. Feel the contraction, go all the way up, but don't overstretch the back because then you will lose the connection to the lats. So keep an active range of motion going, and then it will feel great to improve those lats for the incredible, most amazing V-taper you can possibly create. If in the off season you are way over your recovery, you won't be able to get a pump. So getting a pump is one of those signs that you're recovering well. At least you're in a good space to be, instant sensitivity wise, recovery wise. So obviously there's still fatigue from the contest, but this is already a good sign. First the heavy sets, and then the last set a bit lighter to be able to get a better pump, better connection, and improve your form if it was slightly off during the heavy sets. Let's go. Feels good, and as I said, I won't be forcing anything, so might have been able to do another rep, but we're not doing that. We're not going to absolute failure. Now we're done with this movement, let's go to a rowing movement. The seal row. Now this movement was already incredible. It means you're on a bench. It's kind of a bent over row, but with a chest support and impossible to cheat. But I found an even better way to contract the back, and that is by using this pad. It allows you for the body to be a slight incline, and then you will be able to squeeze the back a lot better. And a better balance as well. This is slightly wider than this bench, allows for better balance, and if your balance is better, you're able to pull more weight as well. So this combination makes this an incredible movement, but it still remains very heavy. If you could do 100 kilos with a bent over row, you're lucky if you can do 70 kilos here. So this is also for the lats, but also the back thickness area, so the rhomboids, which are responsible for pulling back your shoulder blades, and that will create the back thickness needed for me to crack the top 5. 4, 3, 2, or 1. That's a 0 done, 14 good reps, exactly as I thought. And now it is time for another row to finish off the rowing movements for the back. All right guys, it's time for a unilateral movement. In my opinion, as I always say, during the back, you want to do at least one unilateral movement, which means one arm at a time, which allows you to start with the weakest or the smallest arm first and match your reps with the strong side. So we're going to do this one, chest supported, and very important here as well, just like the first movement, keep the shoulder down, keep the elbow down for that contraction in the lats. As you notice, we started right away with a working set. Why? Because we already had back movements to warm up the back, and especially with the unilateral movement, you won't be lifting super heavy loads, and if you're used to the movement, you're not injury prone, you don't feel any pain. There's no need to waste time on warm-up, which will only take away energy, which you then can now put into the working sets. Yep, time for a pullover. So we only did 2 sets of the unilateral movement because, you know, we're still in a recovery phase. We don't want to go all out here. I'm also going to do 2 sets here. I'm going to do, a medium weight, pretty heavy still, but I should be able to do at least 10 plus reps here. It's an isolation movement. And yeah, this is a great weight to do again. 13 reps with good control. That's what you want on a cable pullover. Okay guys, rear delt time. I love this movement. You have 2 ways of training the rear delts, with a reverse fly or actually a rear delt row. So I can alternate in between them. With this one I can do more reps, more volume, and really focus on the isolation of the rear delts without taking in the biceps, so that's the advantage here. With the rear delt row, you can actually do more weight and also focus on the rear delts, but it requires a bit more technique. In my opinion, if you go too heavy on the rear delts, you will simply work too much in the traps, and you want to isolate the rear delts to be in balance with the side chest. Okay, preacher curl time, simply one of my favorites. If you have elbow issues, troubles, I would suggest you doing this unilaterally with the dumbbell so you can align your elbow with your shoulder, but I don't. So I still like to put this one in combination with unilateral movements. So let's get started. And on isolation movements, you usually notice you're a bit weaker, like on the smaller muscle groups, and you don't want to push beyond that because that is the most injury prone you can be, is pushing yourself in isolation movements. However, when you are in the off season, the isolation movements are the easiest movements to push in because they don't cause a lot of fatigue. But for now, you got to be careful for your muscles, joints, and tendons. So I'm going to do this one more time with this weight, then lighten the weight, and that's it for the biceps. That's it for the biceps. Still 16 reps, which, as I mentioned, is a very nice number to finish the biceps with.
Let's log this lift. And the only thing we have to do now is 2 sets for the abs. Don't forget about the abs. I'm very happy with the ab development compared to last year. So we don't want to stop that now. We want the abs and thighs to also be a very strong pose. It's time for the abs. Let's see how much I did last time. And I like to do rope crunches. I gotta try and do around 14 reps here. If I don't make it, it's okay, since we're right after the competition. What I also like to do is look at the abs to see if they are contracting in the right way. Let's do this. Let's remove the 10 kilos and do a couple more reps on that set, and then we are done. Boom, this is that post-workout meal. Look at that. So the biggest difference here is, not the cream of rice, not the protein sludge frosting, but actually the blueberries. So I normally put strawberries in the middle, which I did, but also I'm now including blueberries because I love fruit. I love the health benefits they have. I love the micronutrients. And the more color you can put in your meal, the better it is. So I used to take strawberries for their volume and low calories. Now blueberries are now an addition to my cream of rice meals to make them a bit healthier, a bit more versatile in terms of the amount of nutrition they offer. But anyway, this is cream of rice, 120 grams, value finer protein chocolate flavor whey paste, some strawberries, some fruit, some salt, and that's it. So let's enjoy this one. And that was the video of today, guys. I don't want to make this too long, but hey, this is the first workout I'm showing you after the Olympia, and this is the start of something great, guys. I just want to thank you so much for the incredible support, which I always tell you guys, but I really do mean it. I can't even imagine what this will be like without all your support, with your encouraging comments. I don't know if I would have been able to be as disciplined as I am right now, but it just feels amazing. So I really want to thank you for that, and also thank you so much for the support on Vintage Genetics, for purchasing the clothing, like this oversized clothing and everything I'm wearing during this workout, and also using my code Wesley at esn.com, link down below, which is also incredible. And yeah, guys, don't forget to stay golden.